Mas pinapaganda ang goddess.
Hello po.
Pero mas maganda yung BUHRMO supervising officer talaga. Wala akong masabi.
And Fuchsia Pink.
Spell fuchsia.
Pink na lang po. To everyone, I am proud to present to you the two young ladies of HRMDO, Miss P. Joy and Mary Ann, our OJT from the College of Business Economics and Management. They are HR majors, and they will be hosting this activity. Yeah, say hi, P. Joy and Mary Ann.
Good afternoon po,
Good
everyone.
afternoon.
Welcome to the event po of HRMDO.
Ang mga ladies na to. At sila po ang gumawa ng video teaser. Sila yung gumawa. Yung 15 like ko kanina, sila yon. Kaya I'm proud na dito sila sa akin ng OJT. So 42 participants have joined already. So we are expecting 85 plus 2. May humabol po. 2 plus. We can only accommodate in this Zoom meeting 100 participants, and others who would like to watch the webinar, the forum, they are encouraged to watch the FB Live. Naka-live po tayo ngayon sa Bicol University Facebook. Ay, naku, baka ma-discover si Pijoy at si Mayan. Opo. Talent manager si Sir Noel.
Pwede.
Ay, producer na lang. Ako ang talent manager. Ikaw po, Sir Noel, ang producer.
Tapos treasurer na din at the same time. Tagakuha ng yaman.
Oh.
Uy, sana pala I could have lent you one Zoom account. Sayang kung 100 lang ma-accommodate. I have one that could accommodate 300 po.
Ang yaman, na-upgrade. sayang hindi ko nasabi. But anyway, next time, pag God activity.
Sure.
Po ang aking gagamitin para we can accommodate more than 100. Thank you, Sir Noel. Yan ang goddess po ng BU Center for Gender and Development. The goddess.
Apo, sabi ni Princess. Bibigay ko na sa'yo. Kasi ikaw prinsesa na eh.
Oo. Iba naman ang goddess. Yun. I think siguro kahit 45 siguro we can start na. Hahabol na lang yun for sure. Anyway, naka-FB Live naman tayo. Ang importante, marami ang manunood. FB Live. I'll stop video. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Before we begin, we would like to remind everyone of the online registration, which can be accessed through the link posted here in the Zoom chat box. And for those who are viewing in our Facebook Live, you can access the link in the pinned comment of our live.
Few minutes left before we begin the program. A gentle reminder to everyone. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the comment section or the chat box for those who are with us here in the Zoom meeting. We will bring them up at the end of the session for the plenary speakers to answer your question.
Also, everyone is encouraged to keep their cameras open, but make sure your microphones are on mute. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're having a great and productive day. Partner, allow me to welcome our participants and viewers as they are more than ready to be enlightened of our entrancing virtual gathering this afternoon. This is Urusad Burugos, Kosogkan Gabos, a Women's Day Forum 2022. Join us as we celebrate and recognize women's ceaseless contribution in creating substantial change. I am Princess Joy P. Ariscon.
And I am Marian B. Baral, your ladies of ceremony. Welcome to the Bicol University Women's Day Forum 2022. This is in connection with the 2022 National Women's Month celebration with the theme, "We Make Change, Work for Women." We would like to acknowledge all the participants for joining us here as we commemorate and highlight this momentous event celebrating the cultural, political, and socio-economic achievements of women. Thank you all for gracing us with your presence. At this juncture, let us feel the presence of the Lord through a solemn prayer to be followed by the Philippine National Anthem as we imbibe among ourselves the virtue of patriotism.
I was brought to this world to preach to every kindred of His mercy and love. In every kindness I show, in everything that I do, I've been chosen by my God to testify. A woman of God, I'm His masterpiece, chosen, loved, and redeemed by His love. A new life I was given to serve. I accept your call. Here I am, my Lord. Wherever I go, I will tell, and forever will I shout and sing. Lord, I will go. Preaching about His redemptive love, sharing God's love and mercy, forgiveness will not be afraid. God is walking by my side. I will go forward with His might. The ending is near. Our man of God, I'm His masterpiece. Chosen, love, and redeemed by His love. A new life I was given to serve. I accept your call. Here I am, my Lord. Wherever I go, I will tell, and forever will I shout and sing, Lord, I will go. Our man of God, I'm His masterpiece. Chosen, love, and redeemed by His love. A new life I was given to serve. I accept your call. Here I am, my Lord. Wherever I go, I will tell. Chosen, love, and redeemed by His love. And forever will I shout and sing, Lord, I will go.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, hanap ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisilip. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mabaga, may nilagang tulad, awit sa paglayang minamahal. Pagkislap ng matawat mo'y tagumpay na nalilinig. Ang bituin na tarang niya, kailan pang mali magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng malapit pagsinta mo'y langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pamay mga pirang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
From the Bicol University Center for Gender and Development, may we call in Dr. Noel Refer for the opening remarks. Good afternoon, sir.
Sir Noel, nakamute ka po.
Thank you very much, dear Princess and Madam Chen. To the distinguished Bicol University officials and personnel headed by Dr. Arnulfo M. Mascareñas, the SUC President for the organizers of this activity, of course, led by the very beautiful Dr. Jennifer Barameda, Supervising Administrative Officer of the BUHRMO, invited guests, participants, and resource persons for today, Ms. Amabelia Abion de Luna of the BU Center for Gender and Development, and Attorney Mary Jane and Orpiada, Attorney 6 of the Legal Services Division of the Civil Service Commission, Region 5. Dear colleagues, and to those who are watching via FB Live, a blessed afternoon and welcome to this God-responsive activity. My heartfelt and warm congratulations to the Bicol University Human Resource Management and Department Office for spearheading this God-responsive program entitled Purusad, Burugkos, Kusongkan Gabos, a Women's Day Forum, in conjunction with the 2022 National Women's Celebration. I think this activity may not only assist us in the development of women's empowerment, especially in the workplace, but this may also provide an opportunity for us to be cognizant of making a wise decision in choosing our future leaders as a whole that may provide inspiration and promotion of the personnel's welfare. Please continue your God advocacy work and in appreciating the role of women in our workplace, and always couple your gender responsive PAPs or programs, activities, and projects with the spirit of volunteerism and principle of care to achieve real impact, which I always stress as one of the mantras of the center and yours truly in advocating for women's and LGBTQ's rights and development. I think and believe that with our small but sincere efforts such as this, it will soon create ripples that may affect in due time God mainstreaming and responsiveness in all the programs, activities, and projects in the university and also for our extended communities. Again, welcome to this afternoon's affair and thank you very much for your attendance.
Our warmest gratitude, sir. Though our beloved university president is very eager to attend this momentous event, he is currently attending an equally important event. So, partner, shall we proceed?
Yes, partner. Again, we would like to welcome our participants and viewers this afternoon. This is Urusad Burugkos, Kusogkan Gabos, a Women's Day Forum 2022, recognizing women's ceaseless contribution in creating substantial change. I guess the most anticipated part of the program has finally come. So without further ado, for our first plenary session, allow me to introduce our speaker, Ms. Amabelia A. De Luna, from the Bicol University Center for Gender and Development, as she tackled the topic, Empowered and Equipped Wonder Women in the Workplace. A pleasant afternoon po, Madam.
Welcome to the event, Madam.
Okay. You can share the PPT na, Ma'am Amabella.
Nakamute pala ako. Hello po. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon po.
Hi, boss.
Hello
Andyan pa
and
naman
good luck.
si-
Break all the bones.
Yeah. We're gonna bring home the bacon. Charot.
Recording in
Anyway.
progress.
Anyway, good afternoon again, ladies and gentlemen, the gods and the goddesses of the University of the Bicol University, and our participants, our attendees for this afternoon's talk on women empowerment. Let me share my screen. Sorry, naka-disable po ako. Pwede po ba ako mag-share ng screen, mga kapatid?
Yes, saglit lang po.
Sige po.
Yeah, okay. And then I will give you the spotlight.
Ma'am, sana nagpa-makeup ako. Char. Anyway, I'm gonna share to you my screen. This is actually, Ma'am Jen, although you've given me the title, I'd like to pen this as Juana's role in the changing time. Kasi, you know, we are now changing. When before, during the old days, even in the 1970s, pag babae, ano ginagawa? Sa bahay lang. You tend to your husband, you tend to your kids, you do the dirty works at home, the household chores and all that. But in the advent of women empowerment, we are now changing the role of women. Now, trivia muna tayo kasi medyo this is a very unholy hour. It's 1 o'clock. So, let's have a trivia. The first Women's Day was recorded in New York in 1909. The first international event recognizing Women's Day was started by the suffragettes in 1911. Actually, this movement of women, these are activist women who really fought for their right to suffrage. So actually, meron siyang movie. The movie was entitled Iron Jawed Angels. The defiant young activists take the women's suffrage movement by storm. So this was a real life story. You can check it sa I think this was in HBO the last week yata. I saw this Iron Jawed ladies, and I'd like to share this to you. Na this is a good movie for everyone, especially for the women, ano? This is when they fought for their right to suffrage. This was in 1920 when they first got the bill signed by the United States to have the right to suffrage. Now, why the color purple? I'm wearing purple right now. Although si Ma'am Jen ay naka-pink. Pink and purple are cousins actually. So, why the color purple? International Women's Day is running with the color purple since it is supposed to represent visionary thinking and symbolizes gender equality that we are still fighting for today. Sabi ni Lola mo, Hillary Clinton, never doubt that you are valuable and powerful and deserving of every chance and opportunity in the world to pursue and achieve your own dreams. So, ladies, take note of this one. Huh? So, never doubt your power. Let's define empowerment. This is the process of increasing the capacity of individuals or groups to make choices and to transform those choices into desired actions and outcomes. Specifically, women's empowerment is the process which women elaborate and recreate what it is that they can be, do, and accomplish. So, we are not actually behind, sabi natin, behind the success of a man is a woman. Hindi dapat ganun eh. Every success of a man, there's a woman beside him. Dapat ganon, hindi behind, di ba? Diba, girls, no? Empowering women enables them to confidently and meaningfully engage with appropriate institutions to ensure that they contribute to and benefit from development and changes. So this is very timely that we are now on the age where women are being looked up to. Hindi lang na pambahay tayo. Although we do what we're expected of us as women sa bahay, but it's no longer the burden is no longer with the women alone. It should be in equal with the men, sharing of household chores. Di ba nga ngayon nga meron ng mga lalaki ng mga house husband di ba? May mga ganun na tayo ngayon, and it is not the meaning of the men to be like that. It's between the agreement of husband and wife kung sino yung matitira sa bahay. So, see, the empowerment of women is now evolving. It's changing. How do you empower a woman? You break the bias. You, of course, you advocate women empowerment. You advocate gender equality. We have women as agents of change, and you showcase the empowered women. You showcase all the different accomplishments of women in the society. Let's take it one by one. Break the bias. Actually, the bias is the root of discrimination against women. Pag sinabing babae, sabi nila, mahina lang yan. Naku, wag natin gawing leader yan kasi fickle-minded pag babae. They don't have black and white. They always have gray areas. Naku, pag babae, emotional yan. O bakit kung wala ang babae, asan ba naman sila, di ba? So, the bias prejudice of preconceived notion na favorable sa isang side lang. So, we have to break the bias. Kaya nga nakaganyan tayo, we have to break the bias. That we can do what they also can do, no? Not only of sabi nga natin, ang kasalungat ng babae ay lalaki, we can be equal to men as well. Now, women empowerment, the bottom line of this all is to make them the best that they can be. That we also have the skills, we have the talents to really showcase what we have as women, no? And what are the principles of women empowerment? We create high-level corporate leadership for gender equality. Treat all people fairly at work, respecting and supporting non-discrimination and human rights. Hindi po pwede na pagbabae hanggang dapat sekretarya lang yan. Hindi naman. Minsan nga pagka babae ang sasabihin nila, nako, dapat maganda pag sekretarya kasi para palaging ganado si boss. That's already one discrimination. Minsan nga, it notes something else, di ba? We ensure that health and well-being and safety of all workers, whether male or female, should be present in the organization, no? Regardless of the sexes, dapat meron pa rin yan. We have to ensure the well-being of our employees. We promote education, training, and professional development for women. Hindi yung sasabihin natin na huwag nang pag-aralin yan. Mag-aasawa din yan eh. Dapat bahay lang, lalaki dapat ang mag-aaral. Hindi dapat ganon. We implement supply chain marketing practices and enterprise development that empower women. Hindi naman ibig sabihin na pag supply chain, you know what supply chain is? Pagka nasa manufacturing company ka, you have the supply chain management in the company. That is always run by men. In construction company and corporations, palaging lalaki they are always at the helm. Why is that so? Ang nasa isip nila, pag lalaki strong, pag lalaki kayang gawin ang lahat, physically and mentally. What about women? Marami naman tayong mga babae dyan na magagaling din, di ba? Hindi lang naman lalaki ang gifted ni Lord, tayo din, no? Champion equality through community initiatives and advocacies like that. What we have in the Bicol University, we have gender and development. We advocate women empowerment. We advocate gender and development. Measure and report publicly on progress to create gender equality. What's good nowadays is that the creation of the Philippine Commission on Women, nakita doon ang kahalagahan ng babae, no? Now, here are some other things that we have to ensure. Women's safety, education. Ang babae hindi lang dapat na hanggang high school lang kasi mag-aasawa din naman yan. The healthcare, of course. Well, ang mga babae kailangan natin na, sabi nga natin, ang babae hindi sinasaktan, minamahal. Save a girl from any discrimination or any kabastusan that might happen at home, no? Not only at home but in the streets. Teach job skills. I am very happy na ang TESDA ngayon hindi lang sa lalaki nagbibigay ng skills regarding welding. May mga babae na din ng mga welders. May babae na rin ng mga technicians, in which in Taiwan and in Canada, they would rather have women in the industry kasi mas mabusisi ang mga babae in terms of doing the job. That's why mas gusto nila talaga yung babae in terms of the nitty-gritty things to do in the company, especially in the manufacturing firm. We raise our voices against gender equality. That's why we're having really advocacy on gender equality. And we have the freedom to speak, the right to suffrage, of course, the right to education, the right to give what is for us, what is best for us. Sabi ng kapatid kong si Beyonce, I'm pretty sure yung kalala niyo tong kapatid ko, no? It is so liberating to really know what I want, what truly makes me happy, what I will not tolerate. I have learned that it is no one else's job to take care of me but me. So we really have self-love, girls, self-love, no? How do we empower women? And what is women empowerment really? Let's watch this.
Women's empowerment is when women and girls have the power to act freely, to exercise their rights, to be full and equal members of society. And that's true whether we're talking about when to get married, when to have, where they work, how to spend their money, whether they can move around the streets freely. So why does women's empowerment matter? Because it's not an add-on to development. It's at the core of development for nations, for families. Otherwise, what you're saying is it's okay to lose half of your resources and your greatest potential. And who would want that? We've seen a lot of progress in the last 15 years. Education, for example, the gender gap in primary school completion for women is closing. More women are being elected in government positions globally, and economic empowerment is really happening for a lot of women. They're working outside the home, and they're taking part with their partners in decision-making about how to spend that money. Ironically, in many of the same areas in which we've seen progress, we're still lagging behind. In education, for example, we need to see completion of secondary school education for girls, not just enrollment. In the poorest and most remote areas, women are in what's known as the invisible sector, where they do.
Can you see the video po?
Hindi
ma'am.
po, ma'am.
Oh, I'm sorry. Bakit kaya? Let's see po ulit, ha? Can you see it now?
Wala pa rin po.
Not yet po, not yet.
Oh, wala pa rin. Saglit po,
Kasi,
Would it be possible, ma'am, if I could just share the video here?
yes po, yes. Sige po.
Saglit po, ma'am. Pasensya mga kapatid, ganyan talaga pagka live. May
Opo,
technical.
pag-type.
Saglit lang po. Okay. I'll stop sharing po muna my screen and then I'll share again another one. Let me see po kung okay na. Okay na po ba? Meron na po. Can you see it now?
Loading
Hindi
pa
pa.
ng
Ma'am.
Loading pa lang.
Loading pa. Bakit ganun?
Tik po uli.
Sige. Anyway, sige po. Let's continue po. Kung ayaw niya, sige na lang. Okay, now the third one is actually it's all about women empowerment then in the context of the African American women. The advocacy for gender equality. This is the third, this is the third thing that we have to do. We have to have advocacy for gender equality. The advocacy for gender equality is not solely for and from women. It is the work that needs and can benefit the whole nation in various capacities, whether as government officials and employees, members of the private sector, the academe or the non-government organizations, or as private individuals. We can be partners for a change that is gender responsive. It emphasizes our collective effort and collaboration and participation to ensure that women will not be left behind in the pursuit of change. So, kailangan magkakasama tayo sa ganitong usapin, about gender equality. Number 4 is women as agents of change, mobilizing women to take action for substantial change. So we don't have to really give burden only to men. Kailangan equal footing tayo na we also have substantial skills and God-given gift that we can, be agents of change. Na we can be with the men in doing a very progressive action for the community, for our society. Now, we have, on the number 5 is showcasing the women, Here are 10 Filipino women who inspired the Philippines and the world. Let's take number 10, si Isa Mijeno. She's the one who generated the light source, which she calls sustainable alternative lighting lamp. Mijeno found the inspiration to this project through an immersion trip to a remote community in Kalinga. She went through several attempts before she made her dream to help the lives of Filipinos who live under the hazard of kerosene lamps a reality. So siya yung talaga ito. She invented this one. That's Isa Mijeno. Number 9 is Isabel C. At a young age of 10, Isabel learned how to use HTML and JavaScript na kahit nga tayo siguro medyo may mga edad na, no? Hindi natin alam kung paano gawin yung JavaScript and HTML. She worked with tutors and her family who saw how much she wanted to learn about this field. So she was backed up by her family. At 14 years old, the project Girls Will Code was born. So siya mismo yung nagturo sa mga bata sa public schools, no? Number 8, Andrea Carrillo. Carrillo is proving to everyone that math and science hold no limits as one of the only Filipina astrophysicists. She earned her undergraduate degree at the University of Michigan for astronomy, astrophysics, and interdisciplinary physics. She is currently studying for her PhD in astrophysics at the University of Texas. Number 7 is Pia Cayetano. The Magna Carta of Women Expanded Breastfeeding Promotion Act and the Mandatory Infants and Children Health Immunization Act are just some of the significant contributions of former Senator Pia Cayetano. She advocated for laws to be passed that benefited women, given the discrimination and unfair treatment that has continuously been plaguing women in this country. Number 6, of course, who would forget Heidelin Diaz? Diaz has been competing in the Summer Games since 2008, and previously in 2020, I think she also she bagged again the gold for her sports now in weightlifting event. Number 5, Dr. Micaela Fodolig, the youngest to ever graduated summa cum laude with a general weighted average of 1.099 from the University of the Philippines. Dr. Fodolig finished her undergraduate degree in physics at only 16 years old. She completed her doctorate degree in 2014 and passed the University of the Philippines College of Law entrance examination 2017. So, siguro she's still in diapers pero ang galing-galing niya na agad. So, who would have thought na paano natin i-box lang ang babae? Marami siyang pwedeng gawin, no? We just have to empower them. Maria Fe Perez Agudo is now the CEO of Hyundai Philippines. Sabi nila, lalaki lang daw ang magaling in terms of running an organization or running a company for that matter. Especially, Hyundai is a multinational company. Actually, it's an international organization, no? Pero she's a manifestation of what you want as a woman. You can always fight for it. And of course, you can do it. Kahit naman siguro sino sa atin. Number 3 is Jeannie Santos. Siguro kilala niyo naman si Coco, di ba? Itong sa Disney Pixar animated story. Si Toy Story 2 at saka si Up, no? These are just some of the Disney Pixar's films that have touched the hearts of many. And the animator behind these films is a Filipina. She is the first female supervising animator of Disney Pixar with around 20 years of experience with the said company. So this is Jeannie Santos. No, pag nakikita niyo to, maalala niyo si Jeannie Santos. If you would like to watch again Coco, Up, and Toy Story. Next is Socorro Ramos. Socorro Ramos is actually the first woman. She is the matriarch behind the success of National Bookstore. So, 90s na si Lola Socorro, no? And of course, the very first one, ang top one natin, sino naman ang hindi makakaalala sa ating Miriam Defensor Santiago? The late former Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago. So, si Miriam Defensor, makikita niyo naman how she fight for her right as a woman, as a Filipina senator. Nakita naman natin ang kanyang legacy na napakagaling talaga. Kaso lang talagang she passed away. Siguro 60s pa lang siya, namatay na siya, no? Now, what are the components of women empowerment? The women's sense of self-worth, the right to have and to determine choices. Meron akong choice. May choice ako kung gusto ko mag-asawa. May choice ako kung anong gusto ko sa buhay. Hindi yung pwedeng diktahan lang ako ng kung sino. Kaya nga kailangan ng babae rin meron tayong right to have our own education. Right to have access to opportunities and resources. By what? Taking master's degree, PhD, yung mga tipong we have to hone our craft as women, no? Right to have the power to control their own lives, both within and outside the home. Hindi naman, although meron tayong asawa, meron tayong partner, kaya nga partner kasi We talk among ourselves what to do. Hindi yung masyado kang submissive sa asawa na puro ka na lang opo. Hindi naman po ibig sabihin nun, dyan sa mga lalaki sa ating audience, hindi man puro ibig sabihin ng sinasabi ko ay mag-retaliate na mga asawa nyo sa inyo, no? Hindi naman po ganon. What I mean is that we should be in equal footing. Dapat ang decision making, lalo na sa loob ng bahay, it should be you talk among your spouse how to go about it. Hindi yung kayo lang ang magdedesisyon, no? The right to have the ability to influence the direction of social change to create a more just social and economic order nationally and internationally. Now, what are the transformative impacts women are making nowadays? We contribute to the profitability and competitiveness in the field, no? In the industry, with our skills, with our gift, no, with our talent as women, we contribute to the profitability of our respective organization and the society as a whole. We contribute to the environmental sustainability. Yung pinaglaban dati ni Gina Lopez ng mga Can you hear me now?
Yes po. Brown out pa sa inyo
Okay,
dyan.
thank you so much. I'm sorry, I won't be able to, I'll try my best kasi nag-brown out po dito sa Buraguis. Ma'am Jen, ang ating pong mahal na Buraguis ay brown out sa ngayon, but I will still, I cannot share my slide, but I will continue talking po. Ano? Can you hear me, people?
You can share me your slide that I will be the one to share it if you want. Dito na lang sa chat box.
Sige, ma'am. I'll try, ma'am. Ano po? Kasi wait lang po, ma'am. I will share na lang, may mag-ano lang po ako. Hotspot. And I will share my... Sige, ma'am.
Sige po. Let me know po if you need some more help.
Pwede naman, ma'am. Pwede po kayo magpadala ng generator. Charot. I'm trying to connect, ma'am. Bigla pong, pati po yung aking internet ay nawala. At ang aking pong, ayan, connect ko lang po, ma'am, ha. I hope my battery will sustain me. Nakatulog po ba kayo? Hindi naman, hopefully.
Sige lang po, ma'am.
Wait lang po. Pasensya na mga kapatid. Am I now audible po?
Yes.
Yes po,
Welcome
madam.
back.
Thank you so much. Thank you po. Let's continue po. Again, ang contribution ni Ms. Gina Lopez on environmental sustainability was there. Our contribution to corporate social responsibility. Marami po tayong mga ibinigay in terms of community development. Na talaga naman pong masasabing isang maganda pong practice, no? We create inclusive corporate industry cultures. How do we do that? When you say inclusivity, it's not only for the men and the women, but also the LGBTQIA++ and also the persons with differently abled personality, no? So sabi ni Emma Stone is one of the Hollywood actors who is a known feminist. I can't think of any better representation of beauty than someone who is unafraid to be herself. So you don't have to be afraid of how you could contribute to the society. Hindi naman dapat na ikakahon lang natin ang mga babae. Kailangan kilalanin natin ang kanilang contribution bilang isang manggagawa, bilang isang individual. No? Now let's dissect. This is the theme of this year's National Women's Month celebration. We make change work for women. This is the last year that we will be using this theme kasi it's been the NWMC's theme since 2017 until this year. So 5 years siya, no? Let's dissect what does it mean. We means women's empowerment. Empowering women enables them to confidently and meaningfully engage with appropriate institutions to ensure that they contribute to and benefit from development and changes. Thus, women's empowerment will make the change that we are espousing or any development effort responsive to women's concern. Next is the phrase, make change work. Actually, this is also the acronym of MCW or the Magna Carta of Women. It means providing functional mechanisms as well as implementing and making known to citizens programs and services that address strategic gender needs of women. And the word change, it means compassionate and harmonized actions and networks for gender equality. And of course, what does it mean yung ating NWMC theme for 2022 Agenda ng Kababaihan tungo sa Kaunlaran? A celebration of women's exercising their choices, taking chances to make their voices heard, and benefiting from and trailblazing changes. It is a celebration of Filipino women's power to take the narrative, raise priority issues that matter to them, and call for concrete actions. Again, ang ating feminist na si Emma Watson says, both men and women should feel free to be sensitive. Both men and women should feel free to be strong. It is time that we all perceive gender on a spectrum, not as two opposing sets of ideals. Again, hindi naman tayo nakikipag-away sa mga lalaki, no? Kailangan nga we go into progressive society with men, hand in hand with men, no? We deliver our services, our skills, our talents together with the men, not against them. So hindi po tayo nakikipag-away, ha? Pero sabi nga ni Dr. ni Doc kanina, Doc Herbert, not everything daw. Sabi niya kanina, not everything daw should be behind daw na gano'n. Yung quote ko yata kanina sinasabi ni Sir. Anyway, we have now women leaders, no? I'd like to showcase these women leaders around the globe, no? These are 24 women. These are women leaders across the globe na some of the names I can't even pronounce, no? Si Maya Sandu, the President of Moldova, Kaja Kalyas, the Prime Minister of Estonia, Rose Christian Raponda, the Prime Minister for Gabon. Ingrida Simonet, the President of Lithuania. Katerina Sakelaropoulou, President of Greece. Josa Osmani, the Acting President for Kosovo. Sanna Marin, the Prime Minister for Finland. Mette Frederiksen, Prime Minister for Denmark. Zuzana Kaputova, President of Slovakia. Salome Zurabishvili, the President of Georgia. Sally Work Zudi, President of Ethiopia. Mia Mottley, Prime Minister of Barbados. Paula May Weeks, the President of Trinidad and Tobago. Katrine Jacobsdottir, the Prime Minister of Iceland. Jacinda Ardern, the Prime Minister of New Zealand. Halima Yacob, President of Singapore. Ana Brnabic, Prime Minister of Serbia. Kirsty Kaliwalid, President of Estonia. Tsai Ing-wen, President of Taiwan. Aung San Suu Kyi, State Councilor of Myanmar. Vidya Bandari, the President of Nepal. Erna Solberg, Prime Minister of Norway. Sheikh Hasina, Prime Minister of Bangladesh. And of course, ang palagi nasa limelight, si Angela Merkel, the Chancellor of Germany. So we are showcasing the different women leaders in the world and those who have contributed much to the society. No? Now, here are some gender issues in the workplace. Women now are an all-important resource for human talent. Do you believe so? That we are an all-important resource of human talent? Kayo po ba ay naniniwala? Sabi ni Meghan Markle, women don't need to find their voices, they need to be empowered to use it and people need to be urged to listen. Naputol po doon this one, the gender issues of the workplace. Some of the issues that we have in the workplace is actually, of course, we're still trying our very best to have equality in the workplace and gender discrimination, plus of course the fair pay of the women. Kasi some of the traditional organizations would always look into women as secondary to that of the male. Kaya minsan, or most often than not, ang binibigay nilang pay sa mga babae in terms of earnings are lower than that of the male, no? Ang rates of participation also of women in the organization, ang lagi nasa limelight ay ang mga lalaki because nga nasa isip nila is the male are the stronger sex, no? Women and men sort into different types of economic activity, including different occupations, sectors, industries, and types of firms. So hindi lang talaga ang construction firm is hindi lang pang lalaki. Marami na po tayong mga engineers na babae. Marami na po tayong architects na babae. Actually, we've learned from architect Leo Del Rosario na mas marami na ang mga enrollees na mga babae sa kanilang first year students. No? Mas marami na ang mga babae. Even I for one, ang mga estudyante ko last semester, mas marami yung mga architecture students na mga babae. No? Women earn less than men. These are facts. These are some issues in the workplace. The women labor for participation is stagnated. Kasi nga, mas para sa kanila, mas stronger ang lalaki. No? But of course, there are igniting women gender equality issues in the world of work. No, government can play a critical role in leveling for women's economic opportunities. So that's why we have PCW and some other government agencies that push for really advocating gender and development and gender equality. Sound job strategies to reduce gender inequality diagnostics should understand that local priorities and key constraint to women's work should be addressed into. Kailangan ang ating mga organizations, ang ating kumpanya ay meron pong breastfeeding area. We have to look into the welfare of the women Hindi ibig sabihin na we would be demeaning them because huwag natin bigyan ng trabaho yan kasi buntis yan. Mamaya yan, aalis din yan. Yung mga ganong tipo, dapat talaga it's equality, especially in the workplace. No? What are the career goals of women nowadays? Our goal is the ability to associate people that they should be respected as women. The freedom to be ourselves as women. The recognition coming from the company. We also want to give back to the community what we have learned, what knowledge do we have to share our skills, our talents to the community, the opportunity to be flexible with schedule. There are also organizations nowadays that would tend to give flexible schedules, especially for women, lalo na yung mga solo parents din, ano? And those who are nursing, they are breastfeeding women, kaya kailangan they also have flexible a schedule at work. What else? The opportunity to collaborate with others. Hindi yung, minsan kasi, pag mga lalaki, they would sometimes go into be among themselves lang and talk among themselves. Minsan na medyo na wawala na sa istorya yung babae. So, kailangan talaga na andun pa rin tayo. No? Nandun pa rin yung paano tayo mag-contribute sa kung ano ang meron tayong pwedeng ibigay sa community. Now, before I end, I'd like to promote again this beautiful Hollywood film on The Strength Has No Gender. This is actually a very good movie. It is entitled Hidden Figures. So this is a story of 3 Black women. They are actually behind the success of NASA in Hampton, Virginia in 1961. So isa doon si Catherine, who would have thought na siya talagang, she outshined all the engineers. Other than the fact that she's a woman, Black pa siya. At that time na 1961, nandun pa talaga yung not only the gender discrimination but also of course, yung dahil Black sila, yung kanilang color, no? Yung mga ganong tipo. I'd like to end my talk with this video. I hope you can see the video. Please let me know if you can.
Alam nyo, sa
Can
pictures,
you see
dito
po?
ko lang masasabi lahat ng gusto ko.
Wala pa rin po.
Malaya tayo. Lalo
Wala po ba? Can you please
Sound
just
lang. Sound lang.
can you just listen to the sounds po?
Okay.
alam nyo, sa pictures, dito ko lang masasabi lahat ng gusto ko. Dahil dito, malaya tayo. Lalo na mga babae.
Walang magsasabi sa atin.
Hanggang dyan ka lang.
You're weak.
So sensitive and emotional. Daming sinasabi, matuto kang dumugan. Hindi mo kaya. Kababae mong tao, huwag masyadong maingay. Huwag masyadong mahina. Huwag masyadong mataas ang bat. Huwag masyadong opinionated. Huwag pa sexy. Huwag nakakalalaki. Babae kasi? Babae ka lang.
Teka, bakit nga ba natin pinapakinggan mga to?
Sa pink, ang papakinggan yung boses mo. Aalamin kung ano gusto mo. Tuto pa rin kung ano ang pangarap.
Mailalabas natin ang tunay.
Nakakayanan ng mga babae, may malasakit. Di ka iiwanan. Matatag ang puso.
A fighter.
Madiskarte. Lahat kakayanin. Huwag yung i-underestimate ang power. Nitong pink, lipstick. Dito, malaya ang mga bibig. Masasabi natin,
Loud and proud. Hindi ako babae lang. Babae ako. Babae ako.
babae ako. Babae ka, babae tayo. At
There you have it, mga kapatid. Hindi po tayo babae lang. Babae ka. Ayan, nakikita niyo po ba?
sa pink lipstick.
Can you see this po? Sige po.
Dito ko lang masasabi lahat.
Yeah.
Dahil dito, malaya tayo. Lalo na ang mga babae.
Walang magsasabi sa atin.
Hanggang dyan ka lang, you're weak. So sensitive and emotional. Daming sinasabi, matuto kang dumugan. Hindi mo kaya. Kababae mong tao, huwag masyadong maingay. Huwag masyadong mahina. Huwag masyadong mataas ang dapat. Huwag masyadong opinionated. Huwag pa sexy. Huwag nakakalalaki. Babae kasi? Babae ka lang. Teka, bakit nga ba natin pinapakinggan mga to? Sa pink? Papakinggan yung boses mo. Aalamin kung ano gusto mo. Tutok pa rin kung ano ang pangarap. Ilalabas natin ang tunay. Nakakayanan ng mga babae may malasakit. Di ka iiwanan. So, a fighter. Madiskarte. Lahat kakayan. May ang power. Nitong pink, lipstick. Dito, malaya ang mga bibig. Masasabi natin. Loud and proud. Hindi ako babae lang. Babae ako.
Ayan po, babae ka, hindi babae lang. Thank you very much. I hope I gave justice to my talk this afternoon po. Thank you for the opportunity to share my knowledge. Thank you po.
Thank you po, ma'am. Indeed, strength has no gender. Empowered women are stalwart of justice and truth. We've learned that in your talk po, madam, when women are empowered, they were able to live safe, fulfilled, and productive so that they can reach their full potential, contributing to their skills in the workplace, promoting their fellow women's sense of worth, their ability to determine their own choices, and their right to influence social change for themselves and others. So, thank you again po, ma'am, for taking the time to grace this session with your utmost presence. Your stance and wise words help magnify our cause in the best possible way. Now that the first topic is done, should you have any questions, you can type it down below in the comment section. And for those who are viewing in our Facebook Live, you can drop your questions also in the comment section. Thank you po.
You are still live here. We are still live here at the official FB page of Bicol University. Again, this is Urusad Burugos, Kusog Gabos, a Women's Day Forum 2022, celebrating women's ceaseless contribution in creating substantial change. If you have questions po to our dear learning service provider, feel free to comment po. And for those who are viewing in our Facebook Live, you can type it down below in the comment section po.
No questions from the participants. I think they listened attentively and understand the topic.
I guess there are no questions. I think we are settled then. So we may proceed now to the awarding of Certificate of Appreciation to our first learning service provider, followed by a photo opportunity. Citation reads, Certificate of Appreciation is hereby awarded to Ms. Amabelia A. De Luna for sharing her invaluable knowledge and expertise as a learning service provider in the topic Empowered and Equipped Wonder Women in the Workplace during the conduct of Urusad Burugos, Kusugkan Gabos, a Women's Day Forum 2022 in connection with the 2022 National Women's Month celebration with the theme We Make Change Work for Women. Given this 20th of April 2022, signed Dr. Arnulfo M. Mascarinias, SUC President 4. Thank you po, Madam.
Thank you very much. And I accept
Thank
it
you.
virtually.
Yes. And we will send it to you via via rider. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sending the certificate and the simple token from HRMDO. Thank you
Thank
for
you
your
po.
usual support to
Thank you
the
po.
HRMDO.
Once again, thank you very much, Mom. So let us keep the board rolling as I introduce to you our second learning service provider this afternoon. From the Legal Service Division of Civil Service Commission Regional Office 5, let us all welcome Attorney Mary Jane N. Orpiada, Attorney 6, as she discusses women's cognizance and valiant arrays on choosing leaders. Ma'am, good afternoon po.
Welcome po,
afternoon.
madam. Good afternoon.
Okay, share lang po ako ng screen.
Yes po.
Can you see my screen na po? Can you see my PowerPoint presentation na po?
Yes,
Yes
ma'am.
po.
Thank you. Okay, so isang magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Nagpapasalamat kaming dalawa ni Ma'am Jen na nagkasundo ang aming schedule. Ito ay pangatlong beses na yata ng rescheduling. So isang napakagandang oportunidad para ma-share sa inyo ang naatasang topic para sa akin. So ang theme natin ay Urusad Burukos, Kusog Kang Gabos, a Women's Day Forum. And I was tasked on the topic Women's Cognizance and Valiant Arrays on Choosing Leaders with emphasis on prohibited acts during election period. Noong una, medyo nag-usap kami ni RD, sabi ko, ma'am, ano kaya ang gusto nilang ipadiscuss sa akin dito? But when it was stated there that we give emphasis on the prohibited acts during election period, we are just sure that you wanted me to discuss our resolution on the advisory and electioneering and partisan political activities, as this is the issue once of the Civil Service Commission. Okay, so parang extension yata ito ng Women's Month, no? March yun, but of course, gender and development programs are can be done all throughout the year, and it's good to know. Kanina believe ako kay Ma'am De Luna. Thank you, Ma'am, na marami din po ako natutunan sa inyo. Buti na lang maaga akong pumasok sa session. Salamat po sa sharing. Salamat po sa sharing. Ang galing. Magaling ang advocate ng BU. Salamat po. Okay, so ngayong hapon, or hindi na ngayong hapon makulay, kundi maraming buwan na makulay ang ating paligid. Hindi ba? Maraming pink, maraming red, green, blue, at sari-sari pang iba na nagsisilbing pagkakakilanlan sa mga kandidatong tumatakbo para sa nalapit na eleksyon. But no matter what color we prefer, as appointive government officials and employees, we need to keep in mind that our participation during this period is not as broad as that of private citizens and of other officials in the public service. So this afternoon, my task is to present to you, just as a reminder po, the governing rules on actions relative to election. But before that, since we are, sabi ko nga po, extending the celebration of Women's Month, let me just share with you a brief trivia on women's suffrage. Parang kanina medyo napadaanan ito ni Ma'am De Luna. Okay, so women's suffrage or the right to vote, ang pinakamahalagang karapatan ng isang tao tuwing may eleksyon, isang pribileyo na wala noon dahil noong unang panahon ay hindi bumoboto ang mga kababaihan. alam naman siguro natin yun. So mga historians dyan, no, tulungan nyo na lang ako. I-remind ang ating mga kasamahan. So did you know that in the 1935 Constitution, only Filipino males were allowed to vote? So ito yung specific provision in the 1935 Constitution showing that in the past, women were mere spectators of elections, as apparently women were just extensions of their husbands and fathers. Diba? So, but you will see in the provision that there was some promise that the same right can be granted to women. It was premised on a condition that only if the required number of affirmative votes is attained, no, in a plebiscite. And what happened then? So, kung iisipin mo, meron ba nung panahon na yon ganun karaming babae na kwalipikado na para makaboto ng yes sa isang plebiscite? But what happened then? Well, this is what happened on April 30, 1937. 447,725 women, more than what was required, voted affirmatively to the grant of suffrage. Okay, so sineselebrate yun every April 30. So mag-anniversary na ulit, diba? So, diba parang ito ay isang napakagandang halimbawa, fit for your theme, urusad, burugkos, kusog ang gabos. Nagkaurusad sa mga babae, burugkos sa sarong goal na magkaigwaman ki karapatan bumoto ang mga babae, diba? So kusog ang gabos, ito yung naging result. We are now celebrating 84 years, going 85 of women's suffrage in the Philippines. And this has somehow placed women on equal footing with men in terms of suffrage. Diba? Ang ganda na meron na tayong karapatan dahil sa mga taong nanguna sa paglaban sa karapatan ng mga babae. Now, who advocated for this? Ito yung mga matatapang, no, valiant women of those times led by Purifica Calao, Paz Guazon, Pilar Lim, Josefa Llanes Escoda, Constancia Poblete, Concepcion de Calderon, among others. And they created a society for the advancement of women. So these women leaders have taken enormous steps to fight for women's rights, and so must we. And dahil meron na tayong lahat ng karapatang bumoto, let us use this right wisely in choosing the leaders of our city, our province, our country, because now we have a say on who should lead our government. It is our way of honoring the contribution of those first courageous trailblazer women who bravely brought to front the issues on gender equality, who made it happen for us, so we now enjoy the privilege of voting. So in the coming elections, not only do we have the power to vote, we also have the power to set a good example and be great leaders ourselves. Sabi nga, a good leader is a good follower. So let us lead our peers by being a good follower, a rule-abiding civil servant. Lahat naman tayo nag-take ng oath of office. Nandoon yung ating obligasyon sa ating sarili na susunod tayo sa lahat ng batas, no? Sa lahat ng rules na kakailangan ng batas ng Pilipinas. Okay? So I'm just glad, no, sa GAD activity na meron kayo ngayon, because we help place women among respected leaders in the community, empowering women through learning and development. Okay, so come May 2022 elections, let us exercise our right to vote, but let us also be aware of our responsibilities during this period as appointive government employees. I keep repeating, appointive as opposed to elective. Okay, so tayo merong mga appointments sa gobyerno, kailangan aware tayo ng hindi lang ng ating karapatan, kundi ng ating obligasyon. So now let me share with you the advisory on electioneering and partisan political activity. So this is resolution number 1600298, promulgated on March 29, 2016, which adopted the Commission on Election and Civil Service Commission Joint Circular number 1, series of 2016. In fact, last year we keep on repeating this reminder to civil servants not to engage in electioneering and partisan political activity. Okay, so ano naman ang dahilan bakit meron pa tayong ganitong klaseng advisory? Okay. So sabi dito sa policy statement ng ating resolution, we need to ensure that members of the civil service and the armed forces should remain focused on the efficient discharge of their duties and functions, to do away with the spoils system, which is anathema to the principle of meritocracy, and to shield officers and employees of the civil service and the armed forces from the vagaries of politics. Sa isang case po, sinabi nga ng resolution ng commission na yung rationale behind the probation is to ensure that we maintain neutrality based on considerations that we should be primarily concerned on the efficient administration of the affairs of the government, and we leave the politics to the politicians. And it is based also on the justification that desire to secure discipline of efficiency in the public service by doing away with the spoil system. If you are familiar with yung mga naririnig natin ng mga practices na syempre kung sino yung nananalo, well, parang siya yung merong power na maglagay ng kanyang mga sariling mga tao as parang reward dahil nung kanyang kampanya, ito ay tumulong sa kanya. So, ina-avoid natin yun, no? Meron tayo dapat merit and fitness when we enter service. Hindi yung reward system ang nangyayari. Okay, so again, the purpose of this advisory is to remind all the employees in the government service against engaging in any electioneering or partisan political activities. At hindi lang ito basta kagustuhan lang ng komisyon, mayroon itong mga legal basis, the constitutional and statutory prohibitions. Of course, the general policy of non-intervention of public officials and employees during election is stated in the Constitution, and this is implemented in the Administrative Code, the Omnibus Election Code, and the Local Government Code. And all these laws and rules expresses one very important thing, inuulit-ulit po ito, the rule of neutrality of public officials and employees. And so it is stated that no officer or employee in the civil service, including the military, shall engage directly or indirectly in any electioneering or partisan political activity, except, of course, to vote. Kasi yun nga pinaghirapan ng ating magigiting na kababaihan noon, ano, na magkaroon tayo ng karapatan to vote. So, yun ang pinaka-importanting right natin during the election. Okay, so this is a very important provision. No? Remember na hindi tayo pwedeng mag-engage in electioneering or partisan political activity. Yung kanyang importance is cannot be overemphasized. In fact, nandiyan na rin siya sa Omnibus Rules on Appointments and Other Human Resource Actions. Yung provision is the same. No officer or employee in the civil service, including members of the armed forces, shall engage directly or indirectly in any partisan political activity or take part in any election, except to vote. Okay? So hindi rin niya pwedeng gamitin yung kanyang authority or influence to coerce anybody para lang iboto kung sino yung gusto niya or magkampanya para sa mga taong kanyang sinusuportahan. Okay, so ito pa yung mga related na provisions. This prohibition on electioneering should not be understood to prevent anybody or any of us in the government service from expressing our own view on current political problems or issues. So, pwede naman po tayo mag-discuss or pwede naman tayo magbigay ng ating personal opinion tungkol sa mga issues, social issues, or for mentioning the names of the candidates for public office whom we support. So, kung meron kang sinusuportahan na kandidato, wala namang problema kung i-mention mo. For as long as hindi mo mababiolate yung mga prohibitions. Meron naman kasing paraan yun. Okay, so later makikita natin. Kasama sa provisions na yan, na hindi nga pwedeng gamitin ng mga authorities, yung kanilang mga subordinates or subject them to any of the acts prohibited in the election period. Kasi baka sabihin naman nila, hindi naman actually ako yung actual nagawa. Meron ka lang naman inutusan. So, hindi rin po pwede yun. So, we have been speaking of partisan political activity and electioneering. Pero ano nga ba ito? Anong ibig sabihin ng partisan political activity and electioneering? Ito po yun. Sa Omnibus Election Code, ang partisan political activity daw po or electioneering refers to any act designed to promote the election or defeat of a particular candidate or parties to public office. So hindi lang ito nagmamatter sa mga taong nananalo sa eleksyon, kundi pati dun sa mga kandidato na hindi nanalo. Okay, so hindi natin pwedeng i-reason out na, well, sumuporta nga ako sa kanya, kinampanya ko siya, pero hindi naman siya nanalo. So, pwede ba akong maging guilty ng electioneering? Yes po, kasi hindi nga po ito limited doon sa mga nanalong kandidato. Okay, so let us now look into the scope of the limitations and what activities are prohibited under the rules para at least aware tayo, no? Kasi baka mamaya we are engaging in this kind of acts and hindi natin alam na ito pala ay pwede nang matawag na electioneering or partisan political activity. Okay. So first, bawal po, no? Forming organizations, associations, clubs, committees, or other groups of persons for the purpose of soliciting votes and or undertaking any campaign for or against a candidate or party. So again, hindi lang para sa pagkapapanalo, pwede rin ito ay dahil sa pagkatalo ng isang kandidato or partido sa eleksyon. Okay, so pakitingnan niyo po, baka mamaya kayo ay member pala ng mga clubs or committees or kung ano man association na medyo may political agenda. Okay? So, next po, holding political caucuses, conferences, meetings, rallies, parades, or other assemblies for the purpose of soliciting votes or undertaking any campaign for or against a candidate or party. So, siguro common dito na makikita nyo is yung purpose kasi. Kung ang purpose niya is to solicit votes or to undertake campaign for or against a candidate or party, then it will fall under the covert activity which is prohibited under the rules. Next po, making speeches, announcements, or commentaries or holding interviews for or against the election of any candidate or party for public office. Baka tayo ay naiimbitahan. Sumali sa isang meeting de advance, magsalita para sa kandidato. Although sinusuportahan mo yung kandidatong yun, hindi po natin pwedeng gawin na mag-join sa ganitong mga assemblies or meetings, tapos magsalita ka para doon sa kandidato or against doon sa kandidato. Okay. Next is publishing, displaying, or distributing campaign literature or materials designed to support or oppose the election of any candidate or party. Okay, so meron siguro kayong mga tarps. Pakitingnan niyo po yung bahay niyo. Lalo na kung kayo may-ari ng bahay at kayo naman ay hindi nagre-renta lang. Pakitingnan niyo po baka meron mga tarps dyan sa labas endorsing a candidate. Minsan hindi natin alam, di ba, merong mga nag-iikot-ikot at yun ay nalagyan ng ating barcode. Kung meron po, pakitanggal nyo na lang po. No? Para hindi tayo mabahira ng ganoong klaseng mabrandan tayo na parang meron tayong sinusuportahan or ini-endorse na kandidato. Another covered activity po is being directly or indirectly or soliciting votes, pledges, or support for or against any candidate or party. Okay, so baka hindi naman direkta, baka hindi clear o hindi masyadong blatant ang ating pagsuporta, pero meron tayong paraan para masuportahan pa rin ang kandidatong yun. Mag-iingat po tayo sa ating mga actions. Although meron tayong magandang intensyon, kaya lang syempre pag merong prohibition, hindi kasi tinitingnan yung intensyon, kundi yung violation lang mismo ng prohibition na yun. Okay. So doon naman sa ating rules, actually, yung lahat ng sinabi ko kanina, kung ang purpose naman daw ay hindi naman para compete for or against anybody, but it is just to enhance the chances of aspirants for nomination for candidacy to public office by a political party or coalition. For example, gusto mong, wala pang election, wala pa naman ikaw kandidato sa isang partido, pero gusto mong inominate si Miss A bilang maging representative ng Uragon Party List, kung meron man. No? For example lang naman po ito, Uragon Party List. Ginawa mo lahat ng yung kaninang na-enumerate para kay Miss A maging representative ng Uragon Party List. So it's not yet considered as electioneering or partisan political activity kasi wala pa namang kandidato actually to the election. Wala pa namang kandidato na mag-hold the position during the election. Gusto mo lang siya maging representative ng party. But once na siya na yung magiging representative ng party, ibig sabihin, isa na siya ngayong official na candidate, this will now be considered as an act designed to ensure the victory of the candidate or failure of any candidate during the election. So, yun lang po yung kailangan i-consider doon sa unang set ng prohibitions. Okay? Next po, considered as prohibited activity pa rin po yung being a delegate to any political convention or a member of any political committee or directorate or an officer of any political club or other political organizations and receiving any contributions for political purposes either directly or indirectly and becoming publicly identified with the success or failure of any candidate or party or parties. In one case po, the respondent was found guilty of the offense of engaging directly or indirectly in partisan political activity, ang haba ng pangalan ng offense, by becoming publicly identified with the success or failure of one mayoralty candidate. Kasi yung respondent doon, no, she was in joining the house-to-house campaign of the candidate, and she was also very vocal, urging the people to vote for said candidate. She was in joining the meeting, the advance of the candidate's party, and she was heard saying to the attendees, iboto no si, kung ano man yung pangalan ng kanyang kandidato, pati na po ang buong ticket niya. Okay, so then she was found guilty of this administrative offense of electioneering. Okay, at nung time na nag-house to house, nag-join siya ng mga campaigns, she was also seen wearing a t-shirt bearing the name of the mayoralty candidate. Violation pa rin ba ang paggamit ng t-shirt o pagsuot ng t-shirt na mayroong pangalan ng kandidato? Sabi po sa ating rules, yes po. Kasi po, kasama sa covered activities, the wearing of t-shirts or pins, caps, or any other similar election paraphernalia bearing the names of the candidate or political party except as authorized by the COMELEC. Okay, so meron, kung makikita niyo sa COMELEC website, meron itong mga parang request for mga exemption, mga ganyan. You have to, I think, coordinate with the COMELEC before you do anything, no? Para sa mga ganyang klase activity. But specifically for us in the for us appointed officials and employees, bawal po magsuot ng mga t-shirts, ng pins or caps, or kahit ano po man na mayroong pangalan o mukha ng kandidato na it would appear na in-endorse natin yung kandidatong iyon. Okay? Being a watcher for a political party or candidate during the elections, bawal din po. Baka after yung bumoto during the elections, magpaiwan kahit sabihin nyo, titingnan ko kung paano magbibilang ng boto, baka magkaroon ng dayaan. Gusto ko mabantayan yung boto para kay kung kanino man na kandidato. So ingat po tayo, kahit tapos na po yung pagboto ninyo, part pa rin po ng prohibition, no? Yung being a watcher for a political party or candidate during the elections. Also, consistent presence in the political rallies, caucuses of, and continuous companionship with certain political candidates, causing the employee to be closely identified with such candidate or party. Sa example ko nga po kanina, sinabi ko, di ba na, well, dahil nakikita nga siyang laging kasama ng kandidato, in fact, nag-join siya sa house-to-house campaign, na branded na siya ay identified na siya doon with the candidate. So kung makita mo siya, sasabihin, ano yan, bata yan ni Mayor, yung mga ganung klaseng mga sasabihin ng mga tao. Okay, so we need to prevent that. In one case, actually, yung presence lang sa isang meeting, yung mere presence niya, would be considered daw, sabi ng court, as an endorsement of the candidate and may be charged with electioneering. And the respondent was found to have engaged in partisan political activity when he attended the political meeting doon mismo sa bahay ng kandidato. Okay. Other covert activities would include giving personal, financial, or other monetary contribution, supplies, equipment, and materials for the benefit of a candidate or political party. Okay, so bawal po. In fact, kahit naman doon sa prohibited acts under the resolution of the COMELEC, yung pertaining to the May 2022 elections, meron tayong period doon wherein bawal on donations, di ba? At ito is existing talaga to, even outside that period, to give personal or financial or other monetary contribution. Baka i-reason naman natin, well, hindi ko naman actually siya binigyan ng financial or monetary contribution or supplies, no? Pero doon sa opisina, ikaw na yung nag-print out, no? Nagsi-Xerox, nagma-machine copy ng kanyang mga leaflets, ng kanyang mga handbills, you know? So, indirectly, tumutulong ka. Hindi ka ngayon nag-hand out, ikaw yung nagpiprinta, ginagamit mo pa yung resources ng government, no? Yung papel, yung ink, yung time, because bayad para magtrabaho sa opisina iyan. So, yan din ay covered activity, utilizing government resources. Okay, so, even yung paggamit ng mga job orders or contract of service high risk. And this is the usual question. Hindi ba covered yung job orders and contract of service? Well, ang mga job orders po, ulitin natin at lagi natin minimension, wala naman po silang employer-employee relationship with the government. So hindi sila considered as employee of the government. But yung tao na gumamit sa kanila, nag-utos sa kanila para gawin ang campaigning or kung ano man na pinagbabawal na gawain during this period will be held responsible for that. Okay? Distributing handbills and leaflets. So, ikaw in one case ulit, no? Yung isang respondent, was found to have been distributing leaflets, handbills, which bore the symbol of the party and explicitly solicited recipients to vote for the candidate supported by him, and that sinabi pa niya doon, huwag daw boboto doon sa kalaban. So it was considered as not merely an expression of his opinions, kasi supposedly okay lang naman mag-express ka ng opinion or mag-mention ka ng name of candidates, but doon mismo sinabi niya na ito yung boto natin at huwag natin iboto si ganito. So it was shown as an endorsement of the request kasi may parang request siya ng kandidato na siya ay suportahan. So yun ang naging manifestation. It was considered as electioneering and a partisan political activity. So any act that would aid a candidate is maybe found to be falling within the offense of partisan political activity. So lahat pa ng gagawin natin ngayon during this period would be branded as electioneering or partisan political activity. So hindi naman po yung blanket na, well, meron naman mga excluded activities. And of course, kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina sa una pa lang, kasama dito yung casting one's votes. Siyempre, ito yung sinabi kong pribileyo natin na dapat natin. And this is one right that we should exercise during election, to cast our vote. Pangalawa,
Sige na, ano?
Okay. Okay, pangalawa po, ganyan talaga pag Zoom. Sabi nga ni Chair Carlo, meron minsan na unmute. Okay. Pangalawa, expressing one's views on current political problems or issues. Siyempre parang allowed naman tayo mag-express ng ating personal opinion on social issues na gusto din naman natin i-discuss. Just remember yung linya kung hanggang saan lang kasi. When you discuss or when you present your opinion, do not impose on the persons listening to you na yun din dapat maging opinion nila at iboto nila yung taong kanyang sa tingin niya ay kanyang dapat na iboto. Okay? So do not do that para hindi ka masabihan na ikaw ay nag-electioneering. Kasama din po yung sa excluded activity, yung mentioning the names of candidates or parties whom one supports. So pwede mong sabihin, i-voice at kung sino yung kandidato na sinusuportahan mo, just don't ask the people around you to vote for him or her also. Okay, so let them choose their own. Ikaw naman ay sabi lang na ito yung kandidato na sa tingin mo ay gusto mong iboto. Okay? Also excluded are public expressions. Public expressions, opinions, or discussions. Public issues.
Kami nag-attend kami.
Mga kapatid, would you mind if you thank you very much.
Okay. Salamat po. Baka napindot lang yon. Okay. So, kasama po sa excluded activities, yun nga, discussions of probable issues in the forthcoming elections or attributes of criticisms against probable candidates to be nominated in a political party convention. Okay? Hindi pa naman para sa election, kundi sa isang convention pa lang ng isang political party kung sino man ang mga kandidato doon. Okay. Kasama din po sa mga allowed activity kasi excluded ito sa prohibition. Yung social media functions na actually yun ang parang concern ngayon ng mga tao. Kung ang kanilang pag-like ba ay bawal. So, for your information po, hindi po yun bawal. Ikaw ay mag-like, mag-comment, or mag-share, or mag-repost, or mag-follow ng candidate or party's account unless ginagawa mo yon para mag-solicit ng support for or against a candidate or party during the campaign period. So, ito lagi ang titingnan natin kung ano yung purpose ng kanyang action. Kung magsusolicit ka ng votes, syempre minsan sasabihin mo, nilike ko lang naman. Pero prior to that, meron ka palang sinabi sa post mo na, okay, kung sino yung ilalike ko, yun din dapat ang iboboto nyo. Okay, tapos biglang nag-like ka na ngayon. So, titingnan yun during the investigation kung ano yung mga surrounding circumstances. Hindi naman po yung basta-basta. Of course, ang ebidensya po ay hindi nagsisinungaling. So, doon po tayo magbabase noon. Okay po? So, maging prudent lang tayo, maging maingat. Pag tayo na sa social media, di ba minsan, in fact, sa mga regular lang conversations, minsan napipindot mo yung mga emoticons doon na minsan gusto mo sanang mag-heart, biglang yung angry face pala yung napindot mo, di ba? So minsan hindi mo naman sinasadya, but as soon as na-realize mo na nagkamali ka doon, make sure na you rectify your error. Rectify the error para at least medyo mabawi mo kung ano man yung pagkakamali na nagawa. Okay? So maging maingat tayo pagdating sa social media, madali pa naman yan, ang tawag dyan, ma-picturean, ma-screenshot, no? Minsan ginagamit ng ibang tao para kung meron silang sama ng loob, sana wala naman. Alam ko naman sa BU, kayo ay nagkakasundo, malambing sa isa't isa. Diba? Urusad, burugos. Yan, ang BU. So, alam kong walang problema sa inyo. So, I hope na this will not be a concern for BU employees. So, this is just a reminder that you could also share with other government employees that you know. Okay? So, sino-sino naman yung mga tao covered by these rules? Kasama po dyan, of course, yung members of the civil service in all branches. When we say civil service, yung buong lahat ng tao na nasa gobyerno, including GOCCs, okay? With original charters, of course, ang BU, part ng SUC, whether permanent, temporary, contractual, or casual. Hanggang casual lang po tayo, ha? Again, hindi natin sinasali yung mga job orders. Those career officers holding political offices in an acting or officer in charge capacity. Ano yung mga example nito? Mostly kasi sa LGUs, meron silang mga career officials and then biglang na-designate to non-career position. Prohibited din sila to engage in any electioneering or partisan political activity. And kasama, of course, yung AFP and PNP, ang kanilang main purpose is magkaroon ng peace and order, hindi sila dapat maging bias, wala dapat political affiliation. Okay? Otherwise, magiging chaotic ang ating election. Hindi ko lang naisabay dyan sa PowerPoint, baka lang kasi may magtanong, on leave naman ako, nung ako'y nagkampanya, wala naman ako sa opisina. Hindi po pwedeng maging reason yon kasi sa rules po natin, even those on leave is still covered by the prohibition on electioneering and partisan political activity. Kung meron covered persons, meron namang mga excluded persons. Of course, ito yung mga tao nasa political offices kagaya ng President and Vice President, the members of the Cabinet, of course, appointed yun ng President, other elective public officials, except daw po yung barangay officials. Baka mag-curious din kayo, bakit hindi kasali yung mga barangay officials? Selective naman sila, di ba? Pinipili din sila during election. But, you know, ang barangay kasi is considered as the basic unit of our community, of our society. So, sila ay binibigyan ng blanket of protection na hindi sila pwede maging bias. Kasi sila yung, di ba, pag meron mga nangyayari mga kalamidad or merong mga projects ng gobyerno, sila yung unang-unang task to do the distribution of food, mag-assist sa mga constituents, and hindi magiging objective ang ating mga barangay officials kung meron silang bias or political party affiliation. So para at least yung kanilang functions ma-carry out nila ng walang bias and only for the purpose of discharging their functions, hindi sila dapat ma-brandan with any or ma-affiliate with any political party. So they are also included on those covered persons kahit pa sila ay elective. Of course, kasama sa excluded yung mga personal and confidential staff ng mga elective officials mentioned above and members of the Reserve Corps of the AFP. Kahit pa alam na natin itong meron tayong mga prohibitions ng ganito and somehow meron pa rin pagkakataon na nagkakamali or nagawa natin or nakapag-commit tayo ng mga prohibitions dito na violate natin yung prohibitions na to, mayroon siyempre karampatang penalties. So siguro pag nalaman natin yung penalty, mag-iingat tayong lalo, no, sa ating mga actions. So alamin lang natin, ano nga ba ang pwede maging penalty pag tayo ay nakapag-commit nitong administrative offense of engaging directly or indirectly in partisan political activity by one holding non-political office, kasi appointed officials and employees tayo. Okay. So first offense, suspension for from service for 1 month and 1 day to 6 months. And kung makadalawa ka pa, no, second offense, dismissal from service. Nilagay ko administrative offense kasi under the rules on administrative cases in the civil service, this is considered as an administrative offense. But under the Omnibus Election Code, ito ay isang election offense and ang penalty pag yan ay nakomit ay imprisonment of 1 to 6 years 1 year to 6 years, and disqualification to hold public office and deprivation of the right to suffrage. So, ito yung siguro na dapat pagkaingat-ingatan natin. Di ba? Pinaghirapan natin magkaroon tayo ng karapatan bumoto. Ingatan natin na huwag itong mawala sa atin. Okay? So, we hope that as appointed employees in the government, we protect our rights and that the grant be not withdrawn by being prudent in our actions while we enjoy the freedom to choose future government leaders. And we hope that it will be a government that delivers, one which we, kay babae, kay lalaki, as citizens of this country deserve. Kaya po ngayong parating na eleksyon, iba-iba man ang kulay na piliin natin, siguraduhin na tayo ay mananatiling tapat sa ating sinumpang tungkulin as appointive government employees. Let us be leaders in our own way, kagaya ng mga magigiting na kababaihan noong unang panahon, by being good followers. So we observe neutrality in our actions during the election period. So maraming salamat po at mabuhay po tayo lahat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam, we are grateful for the reminder for enlightening us about the prohibition on political and electoral activities, as well as honoring the fierce and powerful women of the past and the present. So, bless you, Ma'am, for being the compelling and inspiring expression of God's grace. We are grateful for the effort you took to share your thoughts and experiences. So now that the second topic is done, should you have any questions, you can type it down below in our Zoom chat box. And for those who are viewing in our Facebook Live, you can drop your questions in the comment section. Meron po tayo ditong question from Dr. Noel Refer. Hello po, how does this ruling po or conflict po with our freedom of expression and political rights? Follow-up question, paano po if you were a party of a certain campaign but you are doing it po during weekends? Question from Dr. Noel Refer po.
Okay, good afternoon, Sir Refer, Dr. Refer. Okay, so yung question mo, yung first po, in fact, ang dami na nitong cases po na nagka-question ng kanilang right to the freedom of expression. Okay, so sabi po ng court in those cases na wala naman pong problema doon sa freedom of expression and political rights. Kasi, di ba, ang mga rights, kagaya nga sinabi ko, this is a privilege. Hindi tayo talaga absolute pagdating sa mga rights. At kung kailangan i-regulate ito for the higher interest, kaya po yung ginagawa. Kaya nga minention ko kanina sa start pa lang, ano yung purpose kung bakit pag ikaw ay appointive official or employee is meron kang ganito kong klaseng prohibition. At isa nga sa mga reasons po doon is that kailangan ka nga, focus ka nga dapat doon sa work mo instead of campaigning. Instead na araw-araw nag-absent ka to campaign, please make sure na you are discharging your functions well as appointed officials. Kasi meron namang mga tao na responsible for the campaigning ng mga elective officials or those candidates running for positions in the government. Okay po. Pero mas maganda kung mas mabasa niyo po yon. Hindi ko na kasi na-include dito yung mga cases na yan. Of course, maraming concern din. Meron akong freedom of expression. Of course, meron akong freedom of expression. Pero when sabi ko, kaya pinaalala ko rin yung oath of office natin, nakalagay doon. Of course, meron kang right, pero meron ka rin obligasyon. Okay? So medyo balance lang tayo doon. Paano if you were a party of a certain campaign but you are doing it po during the weekends? Minention ko nga kanina, even those on leave are covered by this prohibition. Diba? So, kaya po, ang actions kasi natin, whether nandun tayo sa loob ng office or nasa labas, being public servants, no, lagi tayo nasa ilalim ng mata ng mga publiko. Tinitingnan kung yung actions ba natin ay within the expectations of what a good public servant should be. Hindi po pwedeng maging rason na ginagawa niyo po during the weekends lang po. Kasi ang pinoprohibit po dito is yung maging identified tayo with a particular candidate or we are supporting a candidate which would naturally affect yung functions natin or yung piniprevent nga na pag mayroong nanalo is magkakaroon ng spoil system, etc. Yung promise of promotion, pag nanalo ako, tulungan mo ako mag-campaign ngayon at mas madali ang magiging promotion mo. Yung mga ganun pong eksena ang pinoprohibit ito. Hindi ko naman sinasabi na pinapractice natin yun but dahil nga ayaw na natin makarating sa ganoong klaseng sitwasyon, doon tayo sa preventive, di ba? Mas maganda kaysa daw sa treatment, yung preventive. Okay. I hope that answers your question.
Once again, thank you very much po, Madam, for addressing the questions of Sir Rapper. So you are still with us live here at the official Facebook page of Bicol University. This is Urusad Burugkos Kusog Tanggabos, a Women's Day Forum 2022, celebrating and recognizing women's ceaseless contribution in creating substantial change.
I guess there are no more questions, partner. I think we shall proceed now to the awarding of Certificate of Appreciation to our second learning service provider, followed by a photo opportunity. Citation reads, Certificate of Appreciation is hereby awarded to Attorney Mary Jane N. Orpiada for sharing her invaluable knowledge and expertise as a learning service provider on the topic Women's Cognizance and Valiant Arrays in 15 years. During the conduct of Urusad Burugkos, Kusog Gabos, a Women's Day Forum 2022, in connection with the 2022 National Women's Month celebration with the theme We Make Change Work for Women. Given this 20th of April 2022, signed Dr. Arnulfo M. Mascarenhas, SUC President 4. Thank you so much, Madam.
Thank you.
Thank you po.
All right, to our dear speakers, thank you for sharing your expertise. And to our participants, our most sincere appreciation to everyone for taking part in this glorious event.
Partner, let us keep the faith as this event winds down. As our program comes to an end, we would like to remind everyone of the training evaluation form, which you can access in the pinned comment of our FB Live and in our Zoom chat box. For the distribution of the certificate of attendance, we will just send it to your respective emails.
Done and dusted. Indeed, feminism, according to J.D. Anderson, isn't about making women strong. Partner, women are already strong. It is about changing the way the world perceives that strength. I couldn't agree more. And with that, this has been your host, Mary Ann B. Baral.
And Princess Joy T. Ariscon. This is Urusad Burugkos, Kusog Gabos, a Women's Day Forum 2022, now signing off. Thank you so much po, everyone who have participated. Thank you po.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone, for attending, and to our respected invited learning service provider. Thank you for honoring our invitation. And of course, to the two young lady hosts for this afternoon, Miss Mary Ann and Princess Joy, congratulations for a job well done. So, palakpakan natin ang ating mga sarili. Once again, thank you, Attorney Mary Jane Orpiada. Thank you so much po. We will be sending to you the signed copy of the certificate and the simple token from HRMDO. Thank you so much. In behalf of Human Resource Management and Development Office, of course, of Bicol University, we thank you for we thank Civil Service Commission for always supporting Bicol University in our every endeavor. So thank you. Thank you.
Cheers, congrats.
And also to BU Center for Gender and Development, headed by very active goddess, Director of Center for Gender and Development, Dr. Noel Rosal. Noel Raffer, sorry. Noel Raffer. Thank you. Thank you, Sir Noel. You have been in our every activities relevant to gender and development. So
welcome po. Love you.
Expect more activities from HRMDO. So thank you guys. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Congrats. Bye, everyone.
Everyone.
Bye-bye
Thank
po.
you
Thank
po.
you.
Thank you po.
Thank you.
Congrats, girls.
Katiman
Joel.
sa mga ladies of ceremony nyo, congrats.
Thank you po, sir.
Salamat
Diba?
po.
Kaya lang po next time, sana, i-practice tong dalawang kasama yung AO ni Sir na gender fair language. Natawag nila ako kanina pa, 3 letra. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
Recording stopped.
Mga pangarap kayang apatin, pag-asa ng ambisyon natin, di kuho tulog-tulog. Saan man magpuntay, isa ang ulo. Ako, ikaw, tayo, kahit sino pa, pantay-pantay ang tingin sa isa't isa. Isang pangarap, isang hangarin, tayo ay kakapiyuwenyo. Ngayon, kumita ng problema, wala lang yan basta nidaan sa ngiti lang. Pasok na yan ang laging isipin na tayo'y kakapiyuwenyo. Wow, oh, wow, 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 oh, wow, oh, wow, 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 oh, wow, oh, wow, wow, wow. Puso't isipan, nariyan ang taglay, handang matutong marunong maghintay. Sa pagsubok, di matitinag. Kahit saan man iharap, di tayo papalag. Ako, ikaw, tayo, kahit sino pa, pantay-pantay ang tingin sa isa't isa. Isang pangarap, isang hangarin, tayo ay tatakbiyuwenyo. Sumayo, umitak, sumayaw tayo, biyuwenyo. Sama-sama tayo, tulingan, naganda ang talay ng ating mga puso. Walang susuko, kahit anong problema, wala lang yan basta didaan sa ngiti lang. Pasok na yan at laging isipin na tayo'y tatakbiyuwenyo.
Ngunit kahit di mabuti ang kinasasablakan, mga balakid sa daan parang hindi malagpasan. Tumingala, sa bituin ng karunungan, pag sinabing biyuan nyo, hindi yan uurungan. Dugong asun, ating tinataglay, ilapas mo sa baot, ang itong ibinigay sa tinadya sa mga. Kumbaga, iba ka sa kanila, kundi kanila patuloy niyan, kanta.
Mga talento natin na iba-iba,